Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new and you like to hear about opinions, reviews, and analyses on films, books, and TV shows, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more content from me. So before I get into today's video, I want to say, please go watch The Sandman on Netflix. I watched it last week when it dropped and it's so good. Dark, but good. And Tom Sturridge's acting was insane. I wasn't gonna make a video for it, so I figured I should just drop a mention and a rec. Anyway, for today's video, I've decided to hop back on the childhood nostalgia train and go through the Disney Channel original movies. And since I've already done Lemonade Mouth last year, today's video will be on Avalon High. So Avalon High is an interesting film, mainly because I strongly believed it deserved a sequel, but also a remake. Hear me out. The film had a lot of potential, but because there was some bad writing and bad acting, it did come off as a little cringy now that I'm watching it again 10 years later. But if it were remade and had some rewrites, it could have been a good franchise. For those of you that don't remember this film or have never seen it, it's basically about a teenager named Allie Pennington who starts dreaming about King Arthur just as she starts at Avalon High. Basically, she begins to suspect that her classmates, Will, Jen, Lance, Miles, and Marco, are reincarnations of King Arthur, Guinevere, Lancelot, Merlin, and Mordred, respectively. Her goal, with the help of Miles in the film, is to keep Marco/Mordred from destroying Will/Arthur, with the news that Jen and Lance are seeing each other behind his back. Because if Arthur is destroyed and loses the will to go on, Mordred takes everyone back to the Dark Ages. Supposedly. It sounds wild, but also simple. But reincarnation of Arthurian legends is surprisingly rare in modern media. Actually, the film was based on a book by Meg Cabot, but made some major changes. Again, I must have read the book like 10 years ago, and the only thing I did remember was that Allie was the reincarnated Lady of the Lake, and Will was the actual reincarnation of King Arthur. But in the film, they made it so that Allie was the reincarnation of King Arthur, which 10-year-old me thought was like the coolest thing ever. And then Mordred ended up being their teacher, Mr. Moore. Anyway, like I've said before, the film wasn't exactly the best film ever, and it did fall victim to bad acting and bad writing. I'm sorry, but ever since I saw these Letterboxd reviews about Britt Robertson's running and Greg Sulkin's American accent, I just can't unsee or unhear those things in the film. So here's a clip of the way Britt Robertson was running, which makes me laugh because it was so weird and stiff. And here's a clip of Greg Sulkin's not so great attempt at an American accent.
Hi. Is this yours?
Yeah, it flew away.
Right to me. Must be fate.
I'm sorry, but they did Greg Sulkin so dirty with that. Why didn't they just let him be British? So I was on Tumblr and I posted about it, and someone I followed replied that it'd make more sense to keep him British since King Arthur's court is British. But the film had a lot of potential with the concept of reincarnated Arthurian legends. In popular media at least, I could only recall BBC Merlin with the retelling of Arthurian legends. Well, there was also Monty Python and the Holy Grail, but that was more of a parody. So even then, those two examples were set in the past, not in the present day. So we have a lot of modern Greek gods, like with Percy Jackson, but a modern day Arthur would be so dope to have. That being said, I don't completely hate the changes that the film made to the book. It would have been way too obvious to have kept Will and Marco as King Arthur and Mordred. Having a female King Arthur was a bold choice. And some may say, y'all were just doing this for the woke points, but reincarnation means you can come back as anything or any gender. So I do feel like if they had given Moore a better reason for hating Arthur's reincarnation, apart from Arthur is my sworn enemy in my past life, that would have made him a more compelling villain. Then again, it's kind of funny imagining an adult having beef with a teenager. It's like Doja Cat with Noah Schnapp. Also, I love Greg Sulkin as Will. but Devin Gray as Marco was really cute too. Ali should have gone for him instead in like a slow burn way, you know, especially if they had had more than one film. So while I did have a lot of criticisms about the movie, which is why it deserved a remake by the way, I did love a few things. I loved Miles and Ali's friendship. The bantering between the two was definitely Arthur and Merlin. And yes, I'm using BBC Merlin as the blueprint. Miles' character absolutely stole the movie with his snark, superiority complex, and sarcasm, but he's a good friend to Ali. I wanted to see more of that had there been a sequel. And on that note, you're probably wondering, why does this film deserve a sequel if there's so many things to criticize about it? The answer is simple. The concept of it is too good to be restricted to one film. Again, modern day Arthurian legends aren't common in media. Plus, you're really gonna have a King Arthur film without Morgana Le Fay. She could have been a great potential villain in the sequel. And like with Sky High, I like the idea of fusing together high school drama with fantastical elements. Really, you could have made Avalon High into a show instead of a film, just to allow a better pacing of the story and character development. I did a quick Google search for Arthur's greatest enemies, and it's Morgana, Mordred, the Saxons, and maybe even Lancelot, since the guy kinda did steal his wife. Even without the Saxons or Lancelot being a villain, Morgana would have been a great potential villain had there been a sequel. Or heck, maybe she wants to break the cycle and she's trying to redeem herself. I'm always a sucker for redemption arcs for characters. So overall, Avalon High is far from a perfect film, since it did fall victim to bad writing and somewhat bad acting. But if there had been some changes made to the script, it really could have been a better film. Also, the concept of modern-day Arthurian legends is so rare in popular media that it shouldn't be confined to only one film. If there had been a sequel, or had the film been a TV show, Avalon High could have gone more in depth in exploring Arthurian legends and even done some world building to really captivate its viewers. And those are the reasons why I believe Avalon High should have both a remake and a sequel. And that's a wrap on Avalon High. My next video is going to be up by the end of August/early September, and it will be on the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe.